Okay, let's move to the second part.
All right. So this is the QR code for the workshop. If you like to try it, you can actually use it on your phone or laptop or whatever device that has a web browser. So I had to put something quickly together, and some of the stuff are not well written right now, but in like 2 days it will get better. For instance, this will actually be replaced with a text. But yeah, that's gonna happen tomorrow, not tonight. However, since I'm here, I'm gonna talk about what's gonna happen. So basically, we're gonna deploy a cluster, see container security, the stuff that we talked about, write policies, actually bit by bit, to secure a cluster, both in terms of internal and external, and at the end, give a feedback. Hopefully it's gonna be 5-star, but we'll see. Like everything DevOps, we have to wait. We'll start soon.
That QR code was like,
Sorry?
the QR code, I don't think it worked.
Oh, didn't work?
It worked.
Oh. All right, we have false positive results.
Maybe this screen worked and that one didn't.
Maybe. I can show it again, hopefully.
Just got my phone as a countdown timer while I'm using it.
Does it work now? All right, so let's talk about container security. First of all, as a DevOps, I mentioned from time to time you need to build containers. Containers are just manifests, stuff in there, codes are getting executed, and you will end up with a package. That package could have vulnerabilities and vulnerable libraries in it. For instance, this is a container that I'm building at the moment. And it's using a lot of stuff. Let me just I believe it's test image or something. So, yeah, it's Docker file loose. Right, so as you can see, this uses a builder, Golang Alpine, and it has a work directory. A Go application is going in there, then I run a Go mod in it and a Go build to build the application. Then I download Alpine Linux, copy the program into the new layer, and run the application. That's about it. We can write the same thing, but in a different way. So this is going to be a better approach. We do the same thing, but instead of Alpine, we're going to use Scratch. Scratch is a layer that has around 0 bytes or something. and it has nothing. It's just it's like a plate that you can put your layer cake on it. So if you use Scratch and build the same image, what will happen is our container is going to be built very faster, obviously, and we could use something like Tigera Scanner, which is a part of Calico Cloud, and it's actually free, so you can also go download it from calicocloud.io. And if you scan these containers that we built with Tigera Scanner, it will go through the CVE databases and will tell you, all right, these libraries that you have in your container are either vulnerable or not. So the only thing that I did was just changing the build image from Alpine to Scratch. And you can see the number of, what's it? It's like 20? It's like 18 dependencies and 16 of them are vulnerable, and these are medium. Now, some people may argue these are not applicable to your program because you're not using it, but again, if there's a library in your container is running, it can be infiltrated. If you don't believe me, check PS3 hacking by Failoverflow. They did a similar thing. They used a library to figure out something else in the system. Anyway, next, it will be cluster deployment. And again, I'm going to replace this text with something else, but that's going to happen tomorrow. All right, so after you built your container image, what you do is you're going to use a private registry. Why a private registry? Well, if you're going to secure your environment, you are going to need some sort of repository for your images. Now, you could implement certificates and all sort of stuff, but at a bare minimum, have your own registry. What that gives you is a place to pool the images or create your own images and push them into it. So instead of docker.io whatever Alpine, you just go to your private direct registry, which here is private-repo, and it works on port 5000. By the way, this cluster deployment is all inside multipass, and there is actually, what's it called, GitHub, not a headlamp. So if you go to GitHub frozen space and Tigera presentations, Tigera presentations, not raw, so it's going to be GitHub. And Tigera presentations. Container and Kubernetes security. And here is the QR code for it. So everything is actually here with the explanations and stuff about how you can build this on your own laptop if you want to do it or not. That all depends on you. All right, so the private registry will be a thing that we are going to use, and we're going to install Calico, which is just one manifest. Tigera operator is how we install Calico. The operator is the brain of, is the actual DevOps person for Calico in your own environment, you can instruct it to, for instance here, say I have a registry, a private registry, pull my images from there. This is how I want to have my networking. This is the CIDR that I'm using. I'm going to use encapsulation because these two nodes are not connected directly to each other. They don't have a broadcast domain. There is a layer 3 sort of magic that happens. So my router doesn't know about it. That's why I'm using encapsulation. NAT outgoing is my pods need to talk to internet. So they need to be able to be natted outside of my environment. And node selector means this IP pool. Calico comes with a IP management system. So this IP pool that I'm creating with this CIDR is going to be applied to all the policies, all the nodes. And at the end, the API server is actually your way to either create or delete or list or query Calico resources. So you can actually curl the API server with your pipelines and say, all right, these resources need to be created, these resources need to be deleted, and do the whole GitOps pipeline sort of thingy going on. After you create these, you can go about watching the Tigera status, and hopefully, not like me, you can actually type kubectl correctly. All right, so this will give you information about the deployment. So the DevOps person for Tigera is actually working in your cluster, and 2 components that you wanted, Calico and API server, are actually in the process of deployment. If you like to know more of what is happening and you don't want this summary, you could -o YAML. It will similar to whatever Kubernetes command that you use. Everything that I'm talking about is all based on that. So you can do -o YAML and get the descriptive information out. When that is done, you have a cluster with a policy manager and a data plane. The default data plane is IP tables, but you can change it to eBPF, VPP, whatever, with just like one command. It's actually in our documentation, docs.tigera.io. If you go there, these are all in the operation list and these sort of thing. Anyway, so what I want to leave you with is this policy. One of the things that I usually have problem with, and this is like 16 years in making, is that whenever I want to write a policy, nobody knows what actually is happening. Even if you talk to the developers, it will tell you like, yeah, port 80 is being used. But when you actually like look at that traffic, that is not correct. It's like port 80, port 443, there's a World of Warcraft server somewhere running in that web page, and like nobody knows about it. So this is what I usually do. So as we talked about, when you create a policy, the default behavior of permit for Kubernetes will change and it will become a deny. So first of all, I'm going to create a policy that allows everything because I don't want to disrupt the production environment that I'm running. And secondly, I'm going to log everything. So whatever sort of packet that is going to be allowed, I'm going to first log it, then allow it. So by just running these 2 policies, I can actually see what is happening inside my cluster. So all I need to do is flush the contract. Before that, I need to learn how to copy paste, but we get that sorted out. All right. So flush the contract. Contract is kernel is something in the Linux kernel that remembers when a traffic comes in, what was the source. So by default, Linux is stateless. Contract is what gives it the whole stateful capability thingy. And then I can just look through the syslog and tail for the stuff that are going to be outputted there. Now, I can be very specific and say, I need logs that have a packet in them. Hopefully, it's going to be grep somewhere. Not just packet, but like, yeah, grep. So here is one packet. It actually tells you the interface, the incoming interface, outgoing interface, the MAC address, source address, destination address, length of the packet, on and on and on. What I want to mention is, if a packet has the incoming interface, but not the outgoing interface, it's an incoming packet. If it has the outgoing interface, but not incoming, it's an outgoing flow. If it has both of them, it's a forwarding packet. What else is good to know here? Source, destination, IP addresses are always good to have. And destination port is what you would actually write your policies with. Don't use source port because, first of all, it changes. Other than that, a source port puts more calculation on your policy engine. Doesn't matter what sort of policy engine you use or a firewall, source port will dictate a lot or mandate a lot of power in order to figure out what is happening with that packet. And that's about it. From here, you can actually go write all the policies. If for some reason you can't and you will lock yourself out, as I showed you, there is this page that will give you all the information about the policy design, types, rules, selectors, why something is happening before something else, what is in order, the precedence, all this sort of stuff, how would you prevent a lockout, the egress policy, on and on and on and on. And that's about it.
So do we have a question?
Oh no. Okay, that's it. He's here.
Contract is a container-aware version of Nest app.
Any questions that he can answer?
No.
Nope.
Okay, great. So thank you very much. Thank you for being with us tonight.
And as always, we are always looking for speakers. If you're interested in presenting at this meetup, please contact one of us and we will schedule you. So thank you very much for being with us. Thank you very much, Reza, and thank you very much, Sted, for speaking today. And also thank you very much for sponsoring today's event. Thank you. Okay, good night.
no worries. There's a bunch of tutorials in like Tigera that I use, tutorials. And the whole